What is up, and welcome back to 24 Minutes of the Oscars, the podcast that takes a look at the 2024 Oscars 24 minutes at a time. I'm Ethan Simi.
And I'm Ben Lawhorn. This week on the pod, we're giving our live, immediate reaction to the 2024 Academy Awards.
I don't know where to start, Ben. I don't know where to start in a good way.
Yeah.
People watching on YouTube might see I'm currently at South by Southwest, so I watched the Oscars at the house I'm staying in Austin, Texas. I'm recording on the bottom bunk of a bunk bed right now in a shared house. This is my dedication to the post Oscars pod. I just need that to be known. Okay, my first question for you before we get into any of the details: Are we so back, or are we like so cooked? Like where are we at right now?
I think we're pretty close to back. There's some fantastic moments tonight. A lot of really good stuff. More than last year that I remember anyway. So I'm feeling like we're close to coming back.
I also feel like we're coming back. I feel like we're back. I tweeted during the ceremony, and after the I'm Just Ken performance, I was like, I think the Oscars are back. Like I think we're doing it. Of course, there's lots of things to break down, lots of things to get nitty gritty about. Let's start high level, then let's go through the telecast, because there's so many things to talk about. And like you mentioned, top of the episode, this is our immediate reactions.
Yeah.
We've had probably 7 minutes since the telecast ended.
Literally, yeah.
to process like what has happened. Do you want to start with like the big one? I know I said we're going to go high level, but like, should we not just talk about the Lily Emma Stone situation?
Yeah.
First?
I mean, amazing. I loved it.
Wow.
There were a few moments tonight. I was watching this with my partner, and I'd be like, this is what I want to win, but this is what I think is going to win. And this is one of those things. Lily was fantastic, but I think Emma just gave a great performance. You mentioned it too. I saw you tweet about it, but the fact that they moved this to second to last, I think the Academy knew like we had a barn burner going on. I would love to see how close this was, because I feel like it wasn't a landslide by any means. Like I feel like this was a close race.
I agree. I feel like it was a really close voter race, and like you said, they moved it to second to last, like probably about 15-20 minutes before the telecast started. They tweeted out like, here's the list of the categories. Leading actress was second to last, so it was like director, then leading actress, then picture. And immediately seeing that, I was like, okay, we're in for something, because we're not going to sit through 3 hours and just for it to be like, Lily, that's fantastic, everybody won. I'm a little shocked. Emma Stone's reaction to winning that Oscar, it didn't seem to me that she wanted to win that Oscar.
No, I think she kind of felt like anyone who's watched the Grammys the year that Adele beat Beyonce for Lemonade, and it's just like, I shouldn't be up here, like Emma did a great job and I think she deserves it. But I didn't think it was going to go this way. What I am very excited about is for everybody's mothers to reach out to them and say, hey, should I watch Poor Things? I heard a lot about it at the Oscars. Just everyone have to deal with that. Like, no, you should not watch that movie. Like, it is great, but it is not for you.
So Poor Things picks up 4 wins, I believe, to finish the night. Killers of the Flower Moon, a Martin Scorsese picture, Goose Eggs. Nothing. The Irishman all over again.
Yeah.
I can't. This is why I asked you at the top of the pod, are we so cooked? Because like nothing, just nothing for Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't know. I'm live processing the reality we're now living in, because much like Emma Stone's reaction, I was pretty shocked. And it's one of those wins. And as the show is going on, we kind of got this mini sweep with Poor Things in the very beginning. Yeah. It takes a few awards early in the show. And I said to Brian Sudfield, we've had him on the pod for talking about the holdovers. I'm here at South by with him. And we were watching it together, and I said, this feels like an early wave that changes how the night goes for a single nominee. And that was it. And that was the wave that happened in the beginning that took Emma Stone home to the end. It just felt like maybe it shouldn't belong to her. But the Academy clearly differentiated on that opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they were on board with it. That was definitely a sign. We both look at our predictions. We split the costume and production design between Barbie and Poor Things, and your poor boy got massacred. They
massacred my boy. I can't. Oh, I'm not ready to go there yet. We got to stay high level. I mean,
that was the Babylon again. It's like, I'm going to go with Ethan on this, and then nothing happens. I'm like, oh shit. All right.
Put it on me. Put the blame on me.
Yeah, 100%. No, but the fact that like Poor Things took all three of those, it was like, oh shit. Okay, the Academy really liked this. And I'm sure some people read the tea leaves, with seeing that category got moved second to last. Like, fuck, man, they may, who doesn't like a 2-time winner or whatever. I mean, we've gone the rounds. There's so many reasons that Lily was going to win. There's, hundreds of reasons, but when this stuff happens, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I get it. She gave a great performance. Yeah. So
yeah. I guess the Academy just liked Poor Things more than I thought they would like Poor Things. Okay, let's go. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go high level. Let's start with Kimmel's monologue. I felt like Kimmel did a pretty like a maybe not like a soft positive, but like maybe a little bit of a notch up. I feel like he did pretty good this year. I thought his monologue was good to open with. Couple digs throughout the night that I was not a fan of. A couple jokes that were maybe not in good faith. Took care of some, runtime jokes and things like that. But on the contrary, he did kick off the telecast by basically celebrating films and was like, all these amazing movies. We have all these amazing people. We have all these hard workers. I thought that was a wonderful way to kick off the ceremony.
Yeah, this feels like a thankless job for the most part, and I'd say he did like above neutral. Like, he wasn't bad, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like unbearable or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, we get it. Killers of the Flower Moon was long. Like, we've heard this for the last 4 months. Like, we know. You know what I mean? It's just like, I cannot believe whatever group of writers was hired to do this thought that was a joke that was necessary to get in this telecast. It's like, we all know.
Length jokes, like movie length jokes are never funny. I guess, and maybe they are to like a more broad or general audience, but maybe. like that maybe specifically didn't watch Killers because they saw it was 3 hours and 20 minutes long, right? Like, maybe that's interesting to them, but I think where the Oscars needs to focus their attention and shift their gears. And they kind of did that tonight, was more to the film community and the celebratory nature of like these movies throughout the year. And so getting a joke of like, oh man, like, I had my mail forwarded to the theater because Killers was so long. It's like, okay, I'm not a personal fan of those jokes. We got it. We understood. Madam Web joke, 2 of them. 2 Madam Web jokes.
Indeed. One I loved. One I thought was hilarious. One I thought was so funny. Mulaney's joke, I think, was genuinely hilarious. Yeah. And that goes to someone who like knows what's going on film Twitter and in social media and stuff, and is able to capitalize on it. And I thought that one worked really well. Honestly, like, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but seriously, like, have him host. What the fuck?
When are we getting Mulaney to host?
Yeah, yes. He's perfect. He's perfect.
He is. And he monologued for like 90 seconds and everybody clapped after he monologued. And it's like, oh, there's your host next year.
Field of Dreams too. Like,
he literally recounted the plot of Field of Dreams. And then he ended his monologue and he was like, that should win Best Picture. And it's like, he just talked about a movie and people were like, you fucking rock.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I thought it was fantastic stuff from Mulaney. Okay, got a couple of strike references, which I appreciated. We got a round of applause for Teamsters, union members, behind-the-scenes producers. They kind of all came out on stage, and I thought that was a very special moment. I thought that was kind of like the cap on understanding how much goes into a production like this, how much goes into movies and the industry at large, because the strikes were so important. I think I thought it was handled fine. I like the applause and I like the recognition. I think that's the way it should always go.
Yeah, it was a nice moment for sure. I mean, he even said it in the telecast where it's just like this town gets looked at as, people who were just like on Ozempic and dieting and just like these pretentious people. But it's like, honestly, we're a town of union members and like we know
Yeah,
that
we're a
we
union
all
town.
need to be together. And I thought that was really, really, really nice. So yeah, that was probably the most positive part about his monologue, his opening monologue.
Yeah. Um, Anatomy of a Fall clip. I wanted to rewatch the movie. That was the note that I took down.
Yeah.
We kind of got clips. Do you want to talk about clips real quick? Because
Yeah, sure.
we got some like best picture clips a little bit. We got a couple of like original screenplay, adapted screenplay clips, which I thought were nice. Other than that, it was kind of light on the clips. I was a little sad.
Yeah, I was curious to get your thoughts on this because I did like them bringing people out for the actor performance the awards and giving everyone a little bit of time, in the spotlight, which I thought was really nice. But obviously some of those performances, like it would have been great to see those clips. But yeah, like you said, like we would come back from commercial break and we usually get like a best picture little 90, not even 90-second, probably like 40-second clip package, it's just like, all right, that's past lives. Like, okay, cool. So I loved it when we got it, but it wasn't enough for my taste. I would have loved some more, but at the same time, it was nice to see all those old past winners come back out,
Can we just have it all? Can we just like do it all? Is that okay? Like can we have like 5 previous winners and they all get like 30 seconds to talk about the actors and then be like, here's 90 seconds of clips. Like,
I mean, we were 10 minutes under expected runtime, right? I thought we were going for 3:30 and we're at 3:20.
We had the time for clips. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You mentioned the runtime, 3 hours and 20 minutes long. It ended before the scheduled episode of Abbott Elementary was supposed to take place after the telecast. Really excellent, efficient work from everybody involved at the Oscars. I think it felt good for like a runtime like that. I didn't feel like it dragged necessarily at any point in time. They did a pretty good job of keeping the flow, of keeping the pace.
Yeah.
I know we had some really kind of sparkly presenters. We get the, kind of the 5 former winners for the big acting categories. I thought all of it worked quite well. And all that to say, we should add clips. We had 10 more minutes.
It would have been perfect. It's like all that was missing. So I appreciate for the most part, though, that the presenters that came out, they're paired up for a reason that no one really was overt about. I was afraid that like, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling would be like, we appreciate you stunt people. Also, see the Fall Guy coming out. You know what I mean?
Coming out in May.
I was worried about that. So I was glad for the most part they kept it pretty, like Chris Hemsworth and Anya Taylor-Joy didn't talk about Furiosa.
Right.
But it was nice to see them together because I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, give us clips.
What's the deal with I'm not trying to be Jerry Seinfeld here. What's the deal with the Oscars? What's the deal with getting Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt to come out and be like, man, stunt coordinators, they are the lifeblood of movies. But we don't really like them enough to have a category.
Yeah.
What the fuck? When are we adding the stunt category, man?
It's just so weird. It's such a bummer too, because you see stuff like they throw in clips from John Wick 4. It's like, you guys ignored this movie. Like it doesn't feel right.
You chose to not recognize that.
Yeah. You shouldn't be bragging about how great this movie is. I was like, well, not for us though. We didn't want to recognize it, but we'll throw it in the clip package. It's like, come on, you guys. Like,
yeah.
Let's get this award. I think that's got to be the next one. I'm looking forward to casting, but give us some stunts.
Yeah, I really hope that we're using casting as kind of an entry door into having more things in the future. Okay, we mentioned the runtime, 3 hours, 20 minutes long. Oppenheimer walks home with 7 awards. Poor Things takes 4. Barbie takes 1. Any thoughts on those 3 in particular? We're going to go through the categories here in a minute. But I think it's interesting that Barbie only took home 1. Of course, it's for Best Original Song for Billie Eilish and Phineas. What Was I Made For? Production design, costume design. Fascinating. Should we put a pin in that until we get to that? Or do you want to talk about it now? Because that was Barbie's other shot to take home something tonight.
Poor Things took home more than I thought it would. Oppenheimer took home, I think, exactly what I thought it would. I think when we talked the other day, you gave me the over under on like 7.5, and I was like 7 for sure, maybe 8, but definitely 7. So, kind of interesting. It was the 13 noms, right, for Oppenheimer?
13 noms, yes.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that it was up against, but I don't know. For the most part, Poor Things was the biggest surprise for me, I think, tonight.
Yeah, I really feel like it too. I was going to ask you what the biggest surprise or biggest kind of shock of the night was. I know we briefly talked about Emma Stone, Lily Gladstone. We'll kind of circle back to that at the end of this pod. Was there anything else that stood out to you as maybe a bigger upset or shock of the night?
The thing I was most happy to be wrong about was Zone of Interest winning sound.
Interesting.
That was my favorite thing. I thought for sure they were just going to go with Oppenheimer with the steamroll of this juggernaut. But again, like I told my partners we were watching it, I was like, this is the movie that I want to win, Zone of Interest. But I guessed Oppenheimer just like going with the masses here, or at least what I thought was going with the masses. So when that won, I was not happier tonight to be wrong than sound, for sure.
Look, if you would have just trusted me, you would have took home the dub in that category, Ben.
Listen,
you would have got it right.
I'm not watching Babylon, okay? We can talk about that.
Shoot. I was so close. You and I both take home 17 out of 23 correct. We have tied. We had a little bet on the line of like the loser's going to have to watch a movie of the winner's choosing. Now that we've tied, I don't know where we go from here.
I mean, I guess we leave it up. We don't have a tiebreaker really, but
we don't.
I think we leave it up to everyone else. Either we both have to watch something or neither of us has to watch something. And so,
oh, this is good. Yeah. Okay. All or nothing.
All or nothing.
Okay. I respect that. Yeah. We'll circle back. We'll figure out something pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's dive into the categories. Started the night with supporting actress. This was our first like 5 prior winners, of course. All of them had last year's winner of that category, and then they kind of had like 4 other assorted actors or actresses. Davine Joy Randolph takes us home, the lockiest of locks, as you said last week. I'm not surprised, and I mean, honestly, I started tearing up when she was giving her speech. I looked at Paul Giamatti. He was tearing up, and I was like, well, I guess we're all crying here 20 minutes into this telecast.
Yeah, it was happening. I don't know how many times I said that tonight. I was like, why am I getting emotional? Like, I mean, we'll talk about it in just a little bit, but, Cord Jefferson, like, that really got me, as he was hugging Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown stuff. I was like, damn, this is, like, amazing. But, yeah, for this one specifically, Davine gave a great speech. It was so nice to see everybody up there. I saw a tweet that Mary Steenburgen actually wore the coat that she wore when she won in like 1981 or whatever. Like, so shout out to still fitting in your clothes 40 years later, man. That's crazy. I love it.
Something only an incredibly successful actor could really accomplish. Can I back up for just a second? Because I skipped over a note, and I'm curious if you clocked any of this. No Leonardo DiCaprio at the Oscars this year?
That was interesting.
Who else? Were there some big omissions in the crowd?
I mean, that's kind of got to be the biggest one that at least was relevant to a movie this year. Because I'm like, I don't remember seeing like Brad Pitt and some of these people as well that are usually like just in the crowd. But
especially with Brad Pitt, and when it comes to production, he's generally part of the squad, not this year.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Leo's got to be the biggest. Like, where were they other than fucking Miyazaki, and Wes Anderson, who just like middle finger up, like, fuck you guys, like, give us our statuette, we're out of here. So good.
Incredible goated shit from both of them, from Hayao and Wes, both winning awards, and the presenters basically being like, they couldn't be here, we're going to accept on their behalf, and them essentially telling the Academy that they're better than them, which of course we'll get to in a little bit more of detail. I think Leo, probably the biggest omission of like someone in the audience. Man, some really beautiful people at the Oscars tonight. No surprise, as it generally goes. I give a shout out. Coleman Domingo looked fantastic. I was lucky enough to attend a panel for Sing Sing, a new A24 movie coming out this summer. Just like a couple of days ago when it premiered here at South by Southwest, I was like 10 feet away from him, and he was talking about the film, and he was like, "Yeah, I flew into Austin this morning, and they've got to rush me out of this Q&A because I got to fly to the Oscars tomorrow." And it's like, you're putting in the work, guy. And so like seeing him at the Oscars looking so good, looking vibrant, was really, really cool. I will say the Coleman Flamingo joke, that shit hit. And that was good from Guillermo. He turned in a good performance tonight.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I mean, catching Charlize Theron off guard, like, oh, okay, I didn't know we were married. That's great. I love that he had the big bottle of tequila too. Like he brought all those little mini bottles for everyone, but he's got the full thing going.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Okay, I'll think more as we go through, but I think DiCaprio is probably the biggest omission of the night. Okay, we talked about Davine. No surprise there. Wonderfully happy for her. I think that's fantastic. Animated short. This was the short War is Over. This was presented by Chris Hemsworth and Anya Taylor-Joy because, of course, they voice animated characters in other films, and so I assume the Academy like tried to do this low-key job of like, yo, big blockbuster coming out, like we should get them together, but also like get them to talk about a relevant category. And I don't think either of us have seen this short, but we both got the category correct.
Yeah, no, I hadn't seen it. This was, just based off of research of predictions and things like that, but it sounds interesting. It was cool to see Sean Ono Lennon up there helping accept the award, which was kind of cool. Shout out to Yoko Ono for Mother's Day. It was cool to see some of these people shout out Mother's Day tonight. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, Mother's Day in the UK, of course. A lot of people ended up doing that, which was really, really cool. Okay, next one was animated feature, also presented by Chris Hemsworth and Anya Taylor-Joy. How does Anya Taylor-Joy get her hair so perfect?
I don't know.
That's my question. Every single time I see her at a red carpet event or whatever it is, I'm just like, that's hair. That I've just never seen hair that perfect before in my life.
I think about it every morning.
I just can't believe it.
How am I going to nail my hair today? I can't do it.
How am I going to do it?
Joy. Yeah.
It's just such another level. Okay, animated feature. Of course, this kind of the first toss-up of the night. The first, like, we'll see how the Academy votes between Across the Spider-Verse and Boy and the Heron. Ends up being the Boy and the Heron. I feel really good about that. I guessed the Boy and the Heron. I predicted that. You predicted Across the Spider-Verse. How did you feel when it ended up being the Boy and the Heron?
Here's the thing, like every single thing that won tonight made sense to me. Like I got it, even if I didn't pick it, like there wasn't anything that happened where I was like, what the fuck? Like I cannot believe that one. Like everything for the most part was just like, yeah, I get it. I just went with what I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe they would just give it to all three Spider-Man, so they gave it to the first one. But in retrospect, obviously Boy and the Heron makes sense. Like quality of the movie aside, which I'm sure is fantastic. I haven't seen it, but just like you want to reward the people that have like changed genres, that have like influenced filmmaking. And this might be Miyazaki's last thing, who knows. So it totally made sense for this to win without a doubt.
Yeah, I love seeing this win, of course, because I predicted it, and that was the first time that I broke away from you in our prediction race. So that felt really good.
I will say that was the first, like, they were like Boy in the Hair, and I was like, fuck, like out loud. I said that because I was like, oh no, this is how the night's going to go. I have to watch Babylon. My partner's like, what do you mean? I was like, if I lose, then that's probably what it's going to make me watch. And I'm already down one. So yeah.
I got so excited so early in the night. And that's always my downfall. I'm always like, I'm just so fickle when it comes to this thing. I was just like, the Boy in the Hair won. And I was like, we're so back. Like we're doing it, and I understand movies, and I'm here living this great life. And then I missed the next category, and then the category after that, and I was just like, it's so fucking over. I don't understand movies at all. What are we doing? like I'm just so yeah, we're so cooked. Miyazaki's second Academy Award after Spirited Away. Of course, Miyazaki too busy to be there. Our guy was just like, you know what? I'm going to put the Boy in the Heron out into the universe and really make your brains hurt and make you think about why we do any of this. Also, fuck you. Like, I don't have time to come to the Academy Awards. Boss move.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's great. It reminds me of Anthony Hopkins winning for The Father or whatever it was. And then, like, the next morning, he just sends this video like, hey, sorry guys, I was asleep. Like, thanks, this is cool.
It was like, yo, I'm on vacation. That was so cool that you guys awarded that to me.
Yeah, so I love it. I think it was awesome.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Okay, best original screenplay. This goes to Anatomy of a Fall. I feel so good about this. I feel so happy about this.
I mean, this was it, you know what I mean? And the win, like, talk about the walk-up music, like, we all wanted it, and they did
it, bro. They fucking did it.
It was perfect. I was like, oh shit, they actually did it. This is so good. A great movie, a great script. I think a lot of people saw this coming, so that was great to see.
It's really cool to see Anatomy of a Fall do so well in the precursors and keep that energy all the way through to the end of the night, which I think is really impressive. We don't necessarily see that happen all the time, especially in kind of a, I know this is like kind of a big category still, but like not an acting category, right? Like it's a little bit more intricate and difficult, I think, for Justine Triet to get up there and be like, thank you so much for giving me this award for a thing that I wrote. Not a thing that I directed or starred in, but a thing that I wrote. Wins all these precursors, keeps the energy through the night, ends up winning, and Justine Triet gets up there and is like, this is really going to help me through my midlife crisis. And I was like, I'm so happy for you. That's so wonderful. This is where we got some clips. Best original screenplay, best adapted screenplay. You know what clip they showed for Maestro, Ben?
I unfortunately do.
They fucking did it. I'm reining it in. They have an entire film to pick, and they picked the 20 seconds in which Bradley Cooper shouts, I'm reining it in. And whoever programmed that, just like, kudos to you. If you want to send me your Venmo, I'll send you some money. Like, that's a great pick. I'll give you a little tip. Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer present the best original screenplay. So I felt pretty good at this point in time. I was 4 for 4 on my predictions, and I was like, damn, we're living in it, and things are good. And then we got to best adapted screenplay, and this is where I swerved from kind of everybody. I went Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
You went American Fiction, and you win this category.
Yeah, tied it up. Babylon was able to move further away, which was awesome in my eyes. Like, okay, cool. This is fantastic. I can't say that I don't think Oppenheimer deserved it. You know, like, I mean, we talked about it and I thought that was going to win, but this was just American Fiction pick was just kind of seeing what everyone else was doing. The fact that it was winning all the other like writing awards. So, if nothing else, I think it gave what might have been my favorite acceptance speech of the night with Cord Jefferson. I thought that was fantastic. Like, not talking too much shit, but talking enough shit, you know, to be like,
yes,
hey guys, instead of a $200 million movie, let's make like $20 million or $10 million movies or $54 million movies. Like, let's spread the wealth here because there's a lot of people like me who could use the opportunity here. And I just thought that was like, it was just a wonderful speech.
He was like, the next Christopher Nolan is out there. The next Martin Scorsese is out there. We just need to find them. We need to fund them, and we need to get them to make movies. Obviously, I'm not as high on American Fiction as a lot of people are. It was kind of on the bottom tier of my Best Picture winners. But Cord Jefferson gives this speech, and I was just like, that fucking guy. Like, I will ride with that guy on his next film, whatever he writes next, whatever's going down, and whatever he's going to create next, I'm with him. Yeah. Because that speech is incredible. And like you said, he's just talking enough shit, like, under the veil to just be like, yo, we got to get this figured out. Like, we're doing things wrong. I think that was really incredible. I felt bad for Oppenheimer, and this is kind of where I was like, like, is the energy gonna shift? And I kept feeling this way through the next like 3 categories because we jump into makeup and hairstyling, production design, and costume design after this. Before we got to those 3, we got Billy and Phineas's performance. What Was I Made For? Out of all the 5 performances tonight, which one was your favorite?
Oh, I thought we were going to say this for the end because there was no other performance, really. You know, like, this was great to start out with. It was beautiful. But yeah, I mean, we just have to talk about that last performance. Yeah. Okay. We'll put a pin in it. I thought this performance was pretty good from Billy and Phineas. I like the strip down and then add in the orchestra halfway through. I thought that was pretty good. Okay, makeup and hairstyling. We get Michael Keaton and Catherine O'Hara to present, which is pretty cool. I like their energy. Beetlejuice.
Yeah, little Beetlejuice reunion. Michael Keaton was kind of at the forefront of a lot of stuff tonight, at least a couple of things, with some Batman jokes, which I thought was pretty fun. Then we get this category. Did the Academy get it wrong, Ben? Because they gave makeup and hairstyling to Poor Things.
I don't know if they got it wrong, but this is definitely when it was just like, oh, I think Poor Things might win all three. Like, holy shit.
Right?
Like, that's what's going to happen here. I mean, this movie is great. The Maestro thing always caught me off guard, to be honest. Like, that was me just like following the crowd, picking Maestro. It's like, everyone seems to think it's a Maestro, so okay. But like, I did not understand it completely, because I feel like what they did with Willem Dafoe was just as big of a transformation, if not more. But the rest of it, like the hairstyling and stuff like that, I was like, I don't know. I have no idea where this falls in. This is probably the category I always get wrong, because I just don't understand it as well. I'm the one who, I was upset that Priscilla wasn't in there, you know? And like, I don't know, that's just like a bouffant. And I was like, yeah, I should win the Academy Award. So like, yeah, maybe I'm not the best judge.
I think we messed up. I think we got this one wrong. This was our opportunity to make Maestro an Oscar-winning film and to stop whatever's happening with Bradley Cooper. We could have just ended it tonight. It could have been done. We could be sitting here talking about like, wow, doesn't that feel good? Bradley Cooper is part of an Oscar-winning production. Like that's he's attached to that somehow, some way, and we can move on to the next things, and we can stop talking about, you know, whatever it is that he talks about running around his house naked with his father indoors. And I just think I think we got this one wrong. I think it was supposed to be Maestro. I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Give me Hangover 4. Give me the A-Team 2. You know,
why does the Academy fucking hate Bradley Cooper? What is it?
He wants them so bad, and they're just like, no, dude, playing hard to get here. Like, chill out.
But that's the thing. The Academy doesn't want to play hard to get. That's not their game. That's not their style. They're the one chasing other people. They're like, oh, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should throw Naiad up there on the board a couple of times. Give these people a shot at you know, the high life.
Yeah. I don't know.
But also Annette Bening is not going around on these roundtables. She's not hitting a podcast. She's not going on whatever Cooper's doing. She's not saying shit about Naiad. She's like, cool, thanks for the nom, and like dips.
Yeah, and they both won the same amount of Oscars tonight. So maybe he just needs to chill the fuck out, you know? Maybe that's what needs to happen.
God, that's terrible. I'm never going to recover. This is the moment of the night where I was just like, I think we're cooked. I just don't think the Academy understands. They don't understand movies. They don't understand film.
This is your villain origin story. This starts really tonight. Is. It starts tonight.
It starts right here, right now, tonight. We go into production design after this. I had predicted Barbie. I felt pretty confident about this. Of course, production design, costume design is kind of this Barbie Poor Things toss-up that I think a lot of people were on the edge about up until the beginning of the telecast. I predicted Barbie for production design. You predicted Poor Things. Poor Things ended up taking home the win. And this is win number 2 out of like a 3-win streak that Poor Things goes on.
Yeah.
Once it got this win, I was like, oh shit. Like actress, we got to be careful. I think we're up in the air now.
Without a doubt. I think this was that moment of like, oh, they like this movie a lot more than I assumed they would. Like the Academy voting body really has changed, you know? And this was it.
John Cena bit going into the costume design, where he basically came out and presented costume design nude.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great bit. I thought it worked really well. And I thought he sold it incredibly well.
Dude, the body's insane. It's just an insane, it's an inhuman body. It's crazy.
It is. Dude. It really is. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyone who maybe this is their first experience, like if they haven't watched Peacemaker or whatever, but watch Blockers. He's so funny in Blockers. If you haven't seen it, he's actually he's a pretty decent actor.
You catch Ricky Stenicki yet?
No, I have not.
I haven't heard good things, Ben, unfortunately. So maybe we got to do a John Cena, draft over on the Movie Draft podcast one day. Who knows?
Make it happen.
I'm going to draft this moment. This will be draft pick number 1. His pseudo streaking at the 2024 Academy Awards. I actually thought it was pretty like a smart way to go into like why costume design matters, and a funny way to do it. Poor Things takes home costume design as well. This is where you get 3 wins in a row, and really, that to me is when the night opened up to the more things like sound or leading actress. I know we mentioned a lot, but like other categories that could be toss-ups, I was like, whoa, okay. Those toss-ups are much more realistic now because the Academy is kind of swaying in a different direction.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this opened it up. I think you talked to anybody in July and it was Barbie for costume. Like, what could possibly beat it?
Yeah.
And then here we are. I mean, it's a great movie with some great costume design. I am curious what the thought process is, if it's like they created the costumes for Poor Things versus like they copied the costumes in Barbie. Like, what was the reasoning for this? I'm very curious about it because you can't deny the costume work done in Barbie.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I think it's kind of rare that you get a year where you have 2 movies that are so astounding in both of those categories that you're this much of a toss-up where you're like, God damn, like, can we just have both win? Because they're both on that level, which is pretty impressive. Then we get the performance for Wazaze, A Song of My People, or A Song for My People, excuse me, from Killers of the Flower Moon. Really cool performance. I liked this a lot. And I think it seemed like anytime Killers of the Flower Moon was like a topic of conversation outside of any kind of ribbing jokes, it seemed like the audience really respected and enjoyed those moments.
Yeah, they responded really well to everything to do with the movie. So this was a very cool performance to see. I don't know. For a second there, it's just like, man, does this have a chance? Like with the score, not necessarily with the original song, but with scores, like, man, this might have a chance. But this was it was a very non-traditional pick, I think, for the Academy just to even nominate it. So I loved seeing it on there.
It was for sure. Best international feature film goes to The Zone of Interest. I don't think that was a surprise really to anybody. The first UK film to win Best International Feature. We got Dwayne Johnson and Bad Bunny to present this. I don't know. I don't really get that bearing, to be honest with you. I feel like if you're presenting best in, like, I understand it theoretically of like what they represent culturally for like 2 very distinct profiles in the world, but if you're polling for like a best international feature film, you have so many incredible international actors that are actors, capital A actors that you could pair together for this nomination here.
And the perfect time to bring out Messi or Snoop, you know what I mean? Like,
what the heck?
It would have been ideal. I would have taken him over Bad Bunny. No ill will towards Bad Bunny. I don't get it. I'm just out on it, I guess.
No ill will. I would just take a dog over you, but it's cool. Don't worry about it.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And then this is we get a nice kind of like ceasefire, politically relevant speech from Jonathan Glazer here. Of course, lots of calls for ceasefire in what's going on in Gaza and Palestine right now. And I thought that element in particular made this Oscars really good. I thought it made it really relevant and important. And I think the ability for specific people to use their platform to talk about that, I think like there were lots of buttons, lots of pins that people were wearing. I have a lot of respect for people, like Jonathan Glazer choosing to dedicate his winning speech to like, hey, humans are like terrible and they're still terrible. And like, we have to stop what we're doing. Really important stuff. And I think it elevated the Oscars entirely.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think it was received really well. I liked he mentioned this movie isn't about what people did in the past. It's about what we're still doing now. And I thought that was a really poignant message to give. Obviously, that's given in the movie as well, which is very powerful. So, yeah, this was a great speech for sure.
We get our stunt montage next. We kind of touched on this a little bit. Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling. I'm seeing The Fall Guy in... I think 1 or 2 days here at South by Southwest. Is The Fall Guy going to be good? Because they had some good jokes together, man.
They have a good chemistry for sure. But but I don't know what that means for that movie. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it. I won't. I wouldn't say I'm optimistic about it, but
Yeah.
I'm hopeful. I want all movies to be good, but who knows?
Just Ben, you are a cinema elite right there. I appreciate you for saying that. You just want all movies to be good. I think that's really what we all want.
That's the deep takes from Ben that you get. I want all movies to be good.
I just want them all to be good. I just want them all to be good. Best Supporting Actor is next. We get our previous winners. We get Ke-Huy Quan, Sam Rockwell, Tim Robbins, Christoph Waltz, and Mahershala Ali. Kind of a star-studded 5 there. Of course, goes to Robert Downey Jr., gets a standing ovation. What did you think of his acceptance speech? Because I don't know.
Some of these speeches, I'm curious if the people are just like, I don't know anyone that would get this reference from the movie Big Daddy, but there's a moment in there where everyone yells surprise, but it's for the wrong person. And it's like, oh,
Yes,
we wasted the good surprise on you. And sometimes I wonder, like, do these people sometimes waste the good speech on a different award because they don't know if they're going to get the Oscar? So it's like, I'm going to do the really good speech now. Then they can't just repeat it later on. Because the speech just kind of felt like, it felt very RDJ. It felt very true to himself. But it just felt kind of strange, I guess. But he's just like, I don't know. He's playing with house money right now. He's got his Iron Man MCU money, and he's just like, cool, now I have an Oscar. So great. This is awesome.
I really, really thought he would mention something about his father. Of course, he made a documentary about his father last year called Senior. Robert Downey Senior, huge, influential cinematic, figure in the 60s and 70s, creating really different art. And he recently passed away. And I guess I'm just a little bit surprised that like he didn't go that more heartfelt route. But I'm also not surprised because when he did win some of his precursors, he gave very similar speeches where it was just very RDJ. We're just like, I know I'm winning this, and like, if you're gonna make me get up here and talk, I guess I'll talk, but I'll just talk about whatever the fuck I want, and that's how we're gonna do this. And like, I don't know. Shout out to you. Like you said, he's playing with house money, so like he's got nothing really to worry about here. Visual effects was next, presented by Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Wow.
Great. Great segment.
What a pairing, honestly. Great segment. This is where we get the Batman jokes, because they both played villains for Batman. And visual effects, man. Godzilla -1 took it home.
Can you believe that this is the pick that if you had kept would make me watch Babylon?
I cannot believe that. It just eats me up. Eats me up. I just can't believe it. I swerved at the last minute and I predicted the creator, because much like you, I was like, well, the people have got to be right. Like, think about this, think about the creator. Because I know I had mentioned here on the show, like maybe Napoleon has a shot, but like, this is one of those wins where I see it win and I was just like, well, of course, this makes sense. Because like, they're the cutest group of people ever. They have Godzilla claws on their shoes. They all bring up their Godzilla toys. They give like an in memoriam kind of speech to someone that passed away that was on the team. They're perfect. And no shit, they were going to win this award. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why I ever doubted.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great acceptance speech. So cool to see them all up there, just to see, not that other people aren't passionate about their projects, but like they are just so like tangibly passionate about it, where it's like, we're bringing our toys with us, like it's on our shoes. Like this is the thing that we've committed our lives to for the past however many years. So this is such a huge opportunity. So yeah, I thought it was great.
And their message was like, anybody can be up here. Like you can make any movie and anybody has an opportunity to be up here. Incredible. It's a really wonderful night for people being like, don't give up on acting. Don't give up on working on movies. Like keep creating cool shit, because anybody can be in this place. I thought that was a good message of the night. Okay. Editing goes to Oppenheimer. Jennifer Lamb's first time winning and first nomination, which is insane to me. Not really surprised. I think we thought Oppenheimer was going to take it. And this is where it feels, because this is our first Oppenheimer win of the night. And you're like, okay, all right, cool. We're in the Oppenheimer zone. Now we're in where things are going to get really fun because Oppie's competing for pretty much everything else outside of the shorts, and things could be really cool. And it ended up tracking that way for editing, at least. I thought her speech was really cute, how she ended it, and she was like, I don't know, see you later, and just like walked away from the microphone.
Well, that's when she got up there. She's like, I love twins. This is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. It's interesting. I'm pulling up her IMDb, and she actually started out working with Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig quite a bit. She did Frances Ha, While We're Young.
She did Frances Ha?
Yeah, Mistress America.
Wow, one of my favorite movies. One of my 4 favorites right now on Letterboxd.
And then
That's
she
incredible.
did Hereditary and Marriage Story. And then
God damn.
Tenet and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and then Oppenheimer. It's kind of crazy.
Should have won for Tenet too, honestly, if we're talking about things that should have happened in the past.
Well, I don't know, but she deserves it for Oppenheimer for sure. So yeah, I don't know, she's awesome. I'm excited to see what she has coming up, but I loved her speech as well.
Yeah, never any doubt. Then we got the 2 documentary categories. We got America Ferrera and Kate McKinnon presenting these. We got documentary short, The Last Repair Shop. You ended up predicting that one correct. How? What, are you just a genius? Like, what happened?
Honestly, this was one of the few where it's like, I got to go different than Ethan, and then we'll just see what happens here, because the ABCs of Book Burning was getting a lot of people's vote as well. It felt pretty split, like 50-50. And I just thought, this is the other one I'm seeing, so I just got to try to get an edge up, but it ended up not doing anything for us since we tied. So, I mean, I guess it's a good thing I didn't go for ABC's of Book Burning, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't win. I don't feel good about that. But documentary feature, we both predicted 20 Days in Mariupol. That ended up winning. That's the first Oscar in Ukrainian history. Huge speech from the director of that movie, basically saying like, I wish I didn't make this movie. Like, I wish I didn't have the opportunity to make this movie, which is pretty crazy. He also got up there and said, cinema forms memories and memories form history. And I was like, holy shit. That's insanely profound.
That's a line to remember for sure. Yeah, his speech was great. Like you said, the whole concept of it just being like, I wish I didn't have to make this movie, but I did. Was extremely powerful, but deserving movie.
I've heard 20 Days in Mariupol is like a hard watch. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it, and I will, because it has definitely won an award. Okay, now we're getting to the big ones. We got cinematography. Zendaya presents this one. Goes to Hoyte van Hoytema. His first win, his second nomination. Goes for Oppenheimer. I don't know. Never any doubt, honestly.
Yeah.
I did say when they were showing the nominees, I did turn over to Brian and I was like, what if Matthew Libatique wins? You never know. You never know. Maestro could pull it out, but they didn't.
It's amazing what this guy has filmed, and this is his first win. Like,
run it back. Give me some of what he's made.
All right, let's see here. One of the earliest things that we're probably familiar with, Her. He did Her.
Yeah, I knew that.
Interstellar, Dunkirk, Interstellar. You sound like me.
No, shot beautifully. Incredibly well done from Hoyte.
Dunkirk, Ad Astra, Tenet, Nope, Oppenheimer. I mean, he's done some fantastic films, but that's
insane.
Yeah, this is cool. This is a good win.
Yeah, good for him. Absolutely good win. Absolutely deserved as well. Hopefully I really feel like this category is kind of like the first of hopefully opening it up in the future for like people, cinematographers that deserve awards. Because I feel like that's just kind of been the theme of this season. Live action short. Issa Rae and Rami Youssef presents this one. Wes Anderson, the fucking GOAT, is just like, I can't be there.
Yeah. He's too busy. Great. Good job.
What do you think he was doing? That's my question. Where do you think Wes Anderson was? Because I know Kimmel made a joke about him doing, building a diorama out of like corduroy in his house, which I thought pretty funny joke actually. But like, you think he was watching the Oscars at home and is just like, fuck this? Like, they're going to give me an Oscar for a short for the first time?
I'm very curious to hear how he felt about this, because this is an interesting thing to win for given the career that he has.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, I'm glad to be able to say that he's an Oscar winner because he's more than deserving.
Yeah, it's good. I'm curious when he'll like come out with a statement or, like be interviewed by somebody or like whatever the case is.
Yeah.
About his win. I hope he just says something like totally unhinged where he's just like, yeah, I don't know. I was doing something more worth my time than winning an Oscar. Okay, best sound. John Mulaney hosts this one, presents this one. We mentioned briefly, but incredible monologue about the Field of Dreams. Great monologue, just in general, that got like an applause afterwards. I think he hosted another like non-televised award event.
Yeah. Like the New York Governor's something. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like 6 or 7 weeks ago and videos came out of him hosting and monologuing, and the whole energy was like, yo, can we get Mulaney to host the Oscars one year?
Yeah.
I think this really cements that. I think he'd be a fantastic host.
He'd be great because he has a passion for film, which is so interesting. Like, I don't know that Jimmy Kimmel watches anything he doesn't have to for guests. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
yep.
I don't get the impression that he cares about movies or anything. So if it was possible to get someone who's passionate about it and hilarious, like why wouldn't we want that?
Yeah. We got to figure that out. We got to get that figured out. Zone of Interest goes home with best sound.
Yeah.
I predicted it correct.
Yeah,
and I think this is one of the more, outside of leading actress, I think this is the next like most surprising win of the night. Zone of Interest takes home 2 Academy Awards. Well done for A24 for campaigning that movie very correctly. Such a prickly movie, and much deserved on the best sound.
Oh, 100%. I was so glad that this won. This was definitely a head over heart pick when I went with Oppenheimer, but I'm so happy that Zone of Interest took home the win here because, again, we talked about it on our last episode, but I feel like the sound is more important to this movie than it is to Oppenheimer, and I'm so happy.
They were playing the clips of the nominees, and I really did love how they kind of went back to their roots this year when they played clips. Like when they did best score, they had like a cool like kind of piano overlay. When they did screenplays, they had a really cool title card that went into each one. When they did best sound, they chose scenes put together with only sound from the film. No dialogue, no score, no nothing, which was really cool to see. They did Zone of Interest, I feel like first or second, and that like kind of the alarm like blaring sound when they were playing that, I was like, that is why this is going to win this category. Like that is the reason that it's going to win, and it did end up winning. You ready to talk about our final musical performance of the night?
Dude, yes, this was amazing.
The Oscars are so fucking back, Ben.
Yeah, this is what we need every year. We need this kind of energy because Kenergy, you know what I mean? Like this is it, where it's like it's a great song, but it's also just like something that is part of the popular movement in movies, where it's like Barbie made $1 billion, everybody saw it. Let them see him perform this live. Like, let's get these butts in seats in a way that isn't just like, let's do most popular movie. We'll give you a different award for Black Panther. You know, it's just like, no, that's cheap. Let's do this. It was I love seeing like Simu Liu up there. All the other Kens like showing up was kind of cool. And just the choreography of this whole thing was perfect.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was one of the best performances in recent memory for sure.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling starts in the crowd, goes around, goes up on stage, really nice kind of big musical production, goes back down to the seats, gets Margot and Greta to sing with him, gets Emma Stone to sing with him as well, pulls the cameraman up to the stage once again. Just incredibly lively, so participatory, and like you said, exactly the type of passion that is needed from a movie that was in the position of Barbie. So I'm very happy to say that they did it. I think that's fantastic. I was stunned. I was like, that is really impressive. I think they just like, they hit it out of the park. And they brought Slash out, bro. I was just like, what is going on right now?
The crowd participation was great. Everybody was into it. It was just, this is like an instant classic. This is going to be in highlight reels forever now when it comes to Oscar performances. Ariana
Grande and Cynthia Erivo present Best Original Score. goes to Oppenheimer. We both predicted Oppenheimer. I feel like everybody on the planet probably predicted Oppenheimer. Yeah. Second win for Ludwig Göransson. He wins previously for Black Panther. This is his third nomination as well. And I have nothing to say. This score is just fucking everything you can hope for in a musical score.
I mean, it still just gets to me that this is the guy that was making beats for Childish Gambino, and now he's won 2 Oscars.
Insane to me.
Like, it's I love just that crazy connection. That's who he is, but like, he's great. He's so good at this.
He's so good. He was born to that. I loved at the end of his speech where he was like, "Mom and Dad, thanks for giving me like drum kits and shit instead of video games."
Yeah.
Very cool.
That was awesome.
Then we get our in memoriam. Then we get best original song. We mentioned this is the one award of the night for Barbie. It goes to What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish and Phineas. This is Billie's second Oscar. She's the youngest person ever to win 2 Oscars at 22 years old. She won for the first time for No Time to Die. She won this award, and I was like, I think it's over for me. Like, I don't think I'm gonna, like, I think my life is just like amounting to nothing. I think I'm done. I don't think I can go anywhere right now.
Listen, we all can't be Billie Eilish, but deserving win for sure. This is one of the best songs that came out last year, so it totally makes sense. Maybe not as fun, but definitely a little bit more poignant and thought provoking. So it was a great performance and a great win.
But she got up there and she's like, I totally didn't expect this to happen. And it's like, Billie, yeah, you did. We know you did.
That part bothers me when people do that. Like, oh, I had no idea. Like, Emma Stone looked genuinely surprised, and I believed it.
Yes.
You know, and that's like the RDJ thing where he's like, yeah, no, I got it. Like, but you know, Dave Vine, she looked kind of surprised. It's like, dude, you've been winning everywhere. Yeah. Like, you were not going to lose this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We get our in memoriam segment. I hate the fact that this started, and I was like, oh, Step Brothers, good movie. I'm a terrible person. Of course, some really tragic, meaningful passes over the past year. But I will say, I wish that, like, we as viewers at home, I wish we just got to see the names and like the faces. I don't want to see what's going down on stage. I just want to know who we're talking about.
Yeah. Just give us what's on the screen. Just like fill my screen with that. Like, I'm not
exactly.
I don't know who came to sing. It was beautiful. It was wonderful, but I don't need the dancers and all that stuff. Like, let me watch what's happening here.
We got to do better. It's crazy how we can just like never get the in memoriam right.
Yeah.
I don't get that. It's kind of weird. Then we've got our 4 final categories of the night. Lead actor. We get the former winners to present. We've got Brendan Fraser presenting to Jeffrey Wright, Nick Cage to Paul Giamatti, which shout out Nick Cage. He was just like, yo, Paul Giamatti wore a contact lens that made him blind in his left eye for the entire shoot. I would also do the same thing, but Paul Giamatti, you're a cool guy. Very Nick Cage of him to come out and just be like, I would totally do that as well. I thought that was great. Matthew McConaughey to Bradley Cooper. Wow. Just two legends, honestly, 2 greats, you know?
2 dudes. It's just dudes.
2 dudes being dudes. Ben Kingsley to Cillian Murphy and Forrest Whitaker to Coleman Domingo. Cillian Murphy wins. It's his first Oscar. Gets a standing ovation. Just incredible. He won. Yeah. We knew it was going to happen, but I'm still filled with such joy for Cillian.
I mean, again, like, who thought that the Scarecrow from Batman Begins,
wow,
you know, that he had this range. He's a fantastic actor, and this is so well deserving. This was a beautiful, just so powerful, this performance. So yeah, it's great. You spent 24 hours of your life watching it. You know. Yeah,
I've spent 24 hours of my life watching Cillian Murphy be J. Robert Oppenheimer, and yeah, I can say deserved award for sure. Best director, Steven Spielberg presents this, which is pretty sick. He's just like a lot of cool directors out there making a lot of good movies these days, which is pretty cool. Christopher Nolan wins. This is his first win, his 8th nomination, including, you know, production credits and whatnot. Man, Oppie came up big when it needed to and when it was expected to.
Yeah, this was obviously a huge win. It was cool to see him finally get recognized. There have been obviously plenty of nominations for him. But it's just nice to know that he won't suffer the same fate as Bradley Cooper, you know, that he can actually say he's an Oscar winner. So
we don't need strays up in here. Look, I'm trying to celebrate a filmmaker. You don't gotta bring my guy down, okay?
No, this was such a good win. So happy for him. This is amazing.
Well, Steven Spielberg should have read off Bradley Cooper's name, but you know, we'll save that take for later pod. Lead actress. It goes to Emma Stone. Man, I'm shocked. Yeah. I'm shocked. I thought it was Lily Gladstone's by a mile. Like I thought that we, as a collective like film community, I felt like we were there. I feel like we were ready for that. And I'm not trying to like downplay Emma winning, which is incredible. Her second Oscar, I think her 5th time being nominated. Like it's insane. And totally deserved. But I think Emma Stone was as shocked as anybody else for winning this award.
100%. You know, I mean, I brought it up. Like the only place that she beat Lily was at the Critics' Choice, which has like no weight on the Academy voting body. So I think everybody thought Lily was taking this. I mean, I think I have to go back and listen to it, but I'm pretty sure that's what our boy, even Clayton Davis, was like, oh yeah, Lily's a lock. Like there's no way she's going to lose. And this is just another example of when they get it right, the Oscars can still be very interesting and surprise you. And I think this was a right choice. There wasn't a wrong choice between the two of them. They both gave amazing but very different performances.
Yeah. So she has been nominated 5 times for Academy Awards, which is pretty insane.
Birdman, La La Land, what else?
Supporting actress in The Favorite, and two credits for Poor Things. One for leading actress and the other for Best Picture because she was a producer in the film as well. It's just so fascinating to me. I just felt like Lily Gladstone was the lock of locks. But this is an interesting question because it goes back to American Fiction winning adapted screenplay. Those 2 BAFTA wins ended up coming through on the night, which I think is really interesting because a lot of people were saying, because the BAFTAs were kind of like the last big precursor that we got, that those went to American Fiction and Emma Stone, and those ended up being the tide turners that took both of them home, which I think is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, no, it's so interesting. Again, it's like part of the Oscars being when they are is how much lead up there is, and there's the way to decipher all these other wins that these people get. But yeah, I don't know. It's a great win.
Yeah, it's crazy. Two-time Oscar winner. Okay, Best Picture. Can I ask you? I'm really curious what you think about this. Al Pacino. Like big fuck up, like getting Al Pacino to do the Best Picture, or like all-time elite Academy Awards moment?
I wish we could go back and play whatever I said on that last episode, because I was just like, I have no idea what Al Pacino we're getting. Like, I don't know that he's going to be dialed in. I think he's just going to be like stumbling out there. And I do feel like that's kind of what happened. I thought he was opening it too soon. Like I know we got, you know, these clip packages coming back from commercials, but I thought we'd get one more time, like a rundown of the 10, you know what I mean? Like, and the nominees are, and he's just like, I got it right here in the envelope. Let's go. I was like, oh
Let's
shit,
go
no,
to
dude.
the envelope.
Like I thought a producer or somebody's going to come out and be like, no. We gotta announce all the nominees again. You know, he's just like, hey, what I'm seeing is this. It's
the
like
way he's like, my eyes are seeing Oppenheimer, and nobody reacted. Nobody did anything in the crowd. And then he's like, yeah, it's Oppenheimer. And people are like, oh, we're announcing it. This is how we're finding out the Best Picture winner.
Yeah, like it was chaos. It was just the most chaos. Like my eyes are saying this. It's like, all right, is that what the envelope actually says though? Or is that just what your eyes are seeing? Like what is going on here?
I think it was an all-time elite Academy Awards moment though, because they know exactly what the fuck they're getting with Al Pacino. They know he's going to come out and do whatever Pacino wants to do. And he did exactly that. And he's like, we got 10 nominees coming out for the Best Picture tonight. And I've got the answer in the envelope. And that's it. That was the whole thing.
That's the end.
I thought it was great. I thought it was an incredible capper to what was actually a pretty good telecast in my opinion. And I think because it was a pretty good telecast, getting Al Pacino to be like the more unhinged, like, what are we doing moment at the very end of the Academy Awards, I think brought it kind of full circle to like, oh, nice. We have a little bit of that weird magic still.
Yeah. Man, what a selection this was on their part to do this, like it was.
You can only assume that it was like a group of people, right? Like a group of people in a room is just like, who should we get for Best Picture presenter this year? And they all landed. They're all like, you know what? Al Pacino. That works. I think that's good.
Let's get the co-star of Jack and Jill out there, because he's a lot closer to that than he is from Godfather Part 2, which they kept like, hey, 50th anniversary. He's like, that's a long time ago, you guys. Like, this is not the same person.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that was a tough beat for our boy Al. But you know what? I like it. I feel like that is gonna hit the culture pretty fast. Of like, my eyes are seeing this.
My eyes are seeing this.
I'm totally happy with that. Bud. I think it's great. Oppenheimer obviously wins Best Picture. So Oppenheimer walks away with 7. I feel like right about where everybody thought it would go.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. I think pretty successful telecast. Pretty good Oscars, man.
I think it went really well. I think no one wanted to be there less than Robert De Niro. That man does not give a fuck about award season. Like, even when Tim Robbins screwed up and he's like, in the Oscar winning performance, Oscar worthy performance.
Yeah.
He was just like, just wrap it up. Let's go, dude.
Like, yeah, he's like, let's call it. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But yeah, overall, it was a good Oscars.
We got a couple Marty shots in the crowd too, which I appreciated. Not a lot.
Who was his date? Who is that woman who was like falling asleep? Who is that?
No idea what's going on.
I want to know who that is.
Marty. I know he brought his daughter though, and that is pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. Okay. Yeah. I feel like we're back. Now that we've talked about it, circling back to my original question, are we back? Are we cooked? I feel like movies are back. I feel like Oscars are back. I'm really interested to see what the viewership numbers are going to be for this year.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
I have zero clue what's going down. No idea where we're going to land, but I feel good about it.
I do too. I wish we were able to do this in person together. That was so fun to do last year. Maybe next year we'll see how it falls in with South by and everything. But this was a good Oscars. I'm excited to break it down.
You got to come to South by, and then we can watch the Oscars together, and we can pod together from Austin, man.
I like it. Yeah, that's
what you got to do. Yeah, that's what we got to do. Yeah, pretty good Oscars. I feel pretty good about it. I don't have any closing thoughts other than the fact that we messed up, and Maestro should be an Oscar-winning film at this point in time. But you know what? Another reality, another lifetime. Next time on the pod, we're giving one more deep dive.
Yeah,
we're gonna sit with these thoughts. We're gonna analyze them, talk about them, think about them, and we'll get one final deep dive after we've had some time to think about them and give any, wrap up any final thoughts. Then we're getting back to A24, man. I've seen Sing Sing, a new A24 movie. I just saw that yesterday. I've seen Y2K. I just saw that yesterday at South by as well.
Nice.
A new A24 comedy flick. From
Kyle Mooney, right?
Yeah, Kyle Mooney, director Kyle Mooney, starring Rachel Zegler. So yeah, we've got a lot of A24 stuff to check back in on.
But before that, we are going to talk about one more episode about the Academy Awards. I think we're also going to give our story pitches on Hangover 4 because Bradley's going to be looking for some scripts. So stay tuned for that. Let us know if you have any ideas. Maybe they go back to Vegas. Who knows?
They massacred my boy.
They did. They really reined it in by not giving him anything.
Okay. Hangover 4. If you can't set it in Vegas, where are you going to set it? Where's the next best spot? Because Hangover 3 is set like internationally and it's bad.
Yeah.
We got to think about that. We got to replan this.
I mean, let's combine both worlds. Let's make it South by. Let's make it Sundance. Let's make it a film fest where he gets lost. Let's do that. Let's have some fun with that.
Look, I'm not opposed. That's the best of both worlds for Bradley Cooper. Honestly, I think you're onto something. That's gold right there.
Yep. I like it.
Gold. I love that.
Well, what did you guys think of the Academy Awards? Let us know. We are on Twitter and Instagram at 24 minutes of A24. Also on YouTube, where you can watch us talk about these movies, see our beautiful faces as we recap. these moments that are just gonna go down in history. Like I'm just Ken. I mean, it was an awesome performance. It was super good. So yeah, please subscribe to us there. Thank you everybody for your support. We appreciate it. I am Ben Lawhorn.
And I am Ethan Simi. We're so back. Movies are back, Ben.
We're back, baby. We did it.
We're back, baby.